Hi everyone, welcome to your live readings for this summer solstice or winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, but I know for most watching it's the summer solstice, and I want to give a bit of a picture obviously of what we can be welcoming in at this time as well as what we're moving away from. And obviously we're going to be moving from here into eclipse season, so there are big changes coming. So I'm going to start off by looking at the collective picture, then I'll look at what the 12 signs can be working on. Please remember to check your sun, moon, and rising. They all contain messages for you. Hi, Super Angry Koala. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your solstice has been so far, what you're working on at this time. I'm good, thank you, Super Angry Koala. I'm very ready to welcome in big changes. I'm hoping they're sort of heading our way at this time. I feel like a lot of people are probably waiting for things to move. There's been a lot of stuff needing to be cleared out in recent times. That'll obviously continue over eclipse season, but let's get a sense of where we're heading at this time, shall we? So we'll start off by looking at the collective. Before we do that, take a moment to settle yourselves in. Take some nice deep breaths. Get yourselves nicely settled and open. Any old sort of beliefs, thought patterns, thought forms, behaviors that you feel coming up, just be aware of them. Be aware of them, but notice how they don't necessarily apply anymore. Hi, Trisha. So the picture for the collective, first of all. Hi, Deirdre. I think we all want the old shit gone, Trisha. It's about working through it, but I feel there is stuff being cleared out at this time. I want the old shit gone is very much the kind of picture that we're seeing, and there's going to need to be a bit of patience to get where we're going collectively. That's the sense that I'm getting. We're going to be needing to show a bit of patience. I mentioned the awareness of those old patterns, old ways of doing things, and that's what we're starting from. So they've kind of shown me this picture where a lot of people feel at times like we're going in circles and we're not that conscious of it. And kind of being conscious of, hang on, I've been through this before, this has happened before, I know what this is. And being able then to recognize that and just start to break away is vital. And it's not about like the old stuff going, but it's about doing something new with it. It's about doing something new with it, but not needing to do something brand new in that sense. That's the collective picture. So temperance is showing up as where we're heading towards. And I know temperance, you know, it's like, can't we have something a bit faster? Well, this is going to be like, it's going to be a flow into doing something different, but with what we already have. So you don't have to junk everything either. It's not about junking everything, but it is, I feel, about breakthroughs. It is about suddenly having the ability to do things in a different way and to move forward in that way. But what it's not about, you don't have to come up with brand new ideas. So this is, if your intentions are already set, you are building on those intentions. So you're not having to set brand new ones by any means. This is stuff that you've been working on all year, but now I feel it's going to start to go somewhere and mean something. So What we need to lose, I feel, at this time collectively is the mindset of the Two of Wands. And with the Two of Wands, that's kind of the mindset that we have to go and explore brand new things, do brand new things, tear up the rule book and start again. That's not where we're at. In fact, our next step is simply going to be following on and building on where we are with the Four of Wands. And with this, I feel that it's accepting where we are, but breaking out of that circle and just going off in a particular direction where your heart is leading you, doing yourself justice. Doing yourself justice, and the next card appropriately is Justice. So it's kind of like, have you learned the patterns? Have you learned where things lead? This happens, and then this has this reaction that goes here. Okay, so we've recognized that. So now when we encounter the same situations, we're going to do things a bit differently, do something a bit differently, continuing the work that's been going in this year, building on those intentions. And I absolutely feel then that we're going to start to see that transforming into something new with Temperance. You're more stable, you're more solid than you think you are. You've grown a lot and you're ready to move in a particular direction. Hopefully that means that you've also, you know, dealt with karmic challenges, learned karmic challenges. So yeah, justice is there, but that's kind of recognizing the karmic nature of some of what you've been going through, because I'm sure for so many of us, it's felt very repetitive, very familiar. And just when you felt like you're doing something new, it was like, actually, so the main message is it's not something brand new that you're going to be doing. However, those patterns should calm down and cease now as we move towards that solar eclipse in Cancer. I feel like we are going to be bringing something a bit different to the table, and it's going to be a culmination of the work you've been putting in. That's the collective picture. I'm going to move on now to the 12 signs, starting off with Aries, going all the way through to Pisces. So Aries. Hi LV, and bye LV, I guess. I hope your car gets sorted okay. Please remember to like the video, everyone. Please remember to share the video. That helps a huge amount. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this summer solstice. Okay. Yeah. Main thing you're going to be doing as we move forward, Aries, is taking a bit more responsibility for your situation, for your actions. I feel like some of you may have been quick to sort of point the finger, if not at individuals, then at the universe in general, going, well, this is fucked. I'm sort of stuck here. I'm not to blame for any of it, but you're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that. Can't you just like stop? But you're moving into the space of the King of Wands, Aries. I feel like you're moving into alignment, and it's an alignment between feelings and actions. And that requires you to take responsibility for really for what your world looks like, especially what your outer world looks like, how you create it. The things that might knock you off balance are things that you're going to have to sort of come to terms with and deal with at this time. And that requires an honest appraisal of where you're at. You see, I feel like you've had some successes, maybe some big successes with the Six of Wands, but what you can't do now is just sit there and bask in it, because you have a responsibility to build upon it. You have a responsibility to create something real. So it's kind of like, here's the next bit for you. And I feel for some of you, maybe you've rested on your laurels a bit, or maybe you were really pleased with what you'd done, but then nothing new seemed to happen. I feel like it's going to now. It's going to now, but it requires an openness. It requires an openness. It requires an open-heartedness to move forward as well. And I feel so you are one, reshaping your world in a really strong way, but this is also about following your heart, genuinely following your heart, because part of responsibility here is being able to be, okay, well, this is what I want to happen, but it's also then this is what my feelings are guiding me towards, and I'm going to pursue them, and I'm going to pursue them with force. So it's like the time for sort of sitting around, dwelling, being happy enough, but not quite getting there. Now you've got to go and assert yourself. You have the Knight of Cups showing up as your next step, and the Knight of Cups comes in with the Eight of Wands. So it comes down to you to break kind of the patterns of blaming, pointing the finger, feeling like the world is being unfair on you or whatever. And that's not to discount like real issues of trauma and depression, but it's about what you can take responsibility for, what you can fix, and where your heart actually draws you to. So you can't be blocking off your feelings. You can't just be acting for the sake of it. This has to be in strict alignment. It really does. So this is going to mean being more in touch with your feelings, more in touch with yourself, but allowing that to propel you forwards with the Eight of Wands to the things that truly excite you, truly inspire you, because otherwise there's no point, essentially. So that's your work coming in, Aries. That can be incredibly positive, but it requires you to know what is in your heart and follow it. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Taurus. Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Okay. You're struggling, or rather where you're coming in to this from is this struggle, and I feel it's a struggle against, you have the feeling that a lot of people are telling you what to do, telling you what you should be doing, imposing ideas or restrictions or expectations upon you, and that's hard work for you. It's really, really hard work for you. But I feel like that's going to be the area that you're going to be working through in the coming time, is balancing your own needs with other people's expectations upon you. And it does feel like, it feels like hard work. And it doesn't mean taking shit from people, but obviously it does mean ensuring that you're still doing yourself justice, as well as came up for the collective. You're moving into this space of the Eight of Pentacles. So you're going to be working hard. You're going to be learning by doing. It's very, very practically focused, which suits you, Taurus. I feel like it also means that you might be spending more time by yourself, doing things by yourself. You might be just keeping a few people at arm's length, or starting to understand how group dynamics, maybe cultural dynamics, but certainly group dynamics, kind of have been restricting you, have been limiting you, because you've been trying to fit with this group rather than doing the things that are required of you. So you're moving out of this Three of Cups space, and I don't feel that means that you're going to burn bridges with everyone around you, but I do feel more kind of self-focus, self-propulsion, and pushing away those group expectations that don't really suit you too well at this time. So you're getting a lot more serious as well. I think things become a little less frivolous for you at this time, Taurus. It's kind of knuckling down and getting on with the work a lot more. You have Wheel of Mars coming in. This is traditionally the Tower. It's a very, very powerful image of the Tower here, as you can see. And there's two things, and one is self-protection. So protection from being pulled off your path, protection from being yanked in different directions. But it's also that I feel like the things that are not, the things that are restricting you or that are not in alignment with where you want to be are going to crumble away a bit at this time. So there's these tests coming in to your place in groups, to your relationship, to the things that you're doing. They're going to be tested hard, and the things that are right for you are going to stay the course. They're going to stand true, stand firm. That's going to move you towards this Queen of Cups space where you're more able to deal. And part of being more able to deal is pushing away what is actually impinging upon you, what is restricting you in that sense, what's in the way of your work and your development. And yes, that can be other people, and it can be groups of people. All about standing much more true in your own power. I also feel you becoming a lot more creative as this goes on. So it's hard work, but there's this creative side of you that comes out more and more. When we deal with Mars energy, we are dealing with creative energy. With the Queen of Cups there as well, it's them being able to kind of reshape. And you're reshaping your inner world, but it's going to reshape your outer world, and you're reshaping your outer world, and it's going to reshape your inner world, because there's the balance coming up with Justice again. And what that is going to mean in practice is it's like you're clearing a space, and there's a space being cleared for you. And I feel you need that with the work that you're going to be moving through at this time. This is going to be really, really vital for you. Very, very exciting times for you. You're going to feel the pressure a bit, to say the least. You're going to feel the pressure a bit, but then it's about how you work with that, how you work under that, and how you work with what's the correct pressure and what is just extra shit that other people are giving you that you're like, no, take it back, I don't need it. I hope that makes sense for you, Taurus. The next sign is going to be Gemini. Hi, Asma. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Eyes Like Stars. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this summer solstice. Gemini. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Gemini. They've taken me straight to my root chakra, and the cards are kind of confirming this. This next period where you're heading towards is about rooting yourself. It's about rooting yourself on this planet and rooting yourself in terms of groups of people. You're going to be getting this sense, this really strong sense that develops of where you belong, where you're from as well. I feel you connecting to your roots, connecting to your ancestry, as well as grounding yourself at this time. And this is about things starting to make sense for you then. Okay, I'm here for this reason. I'm in this space, and this is where I come from, and that makes sense to me now. And I just feel this deepening connection, and this is also going to help you to stay grounded. It's going to bring in stability for you, and that in turn is going to then enable you to look forward with a bit more hope, because I feel like you've been in this space of looking for the next big thing, looking for something new, looking externally. You're coming back to yourself and your roots and your ancestry and where you're from and what that all means at this time. Shows up for you with the Emperor. And it feels like you are slotting the pieces together. You're slotting the pieces together, and now things are going to make sense. And once things make sense, it's much easier to know what you do next, why you do it, how it all fits together. Moving away from the stars, I feel like there's a flightiness, and there's like this looking outside, looking for something new, looking for the next excitement. Maybe you've been in this place of going from, well, that's exciting and that's exciting, so I'll go from that to that and that and that and that. It may have been quite hedonistic. And now you're kind of moving back to this place of stability and understanding. It's a greater understanding than you've had before. I feel that you're going to be connecting to groups of people around that. These can be like groups that connect to similar origins to you, be they ancestral, be they cultural, be they people who deal with similar things to you, whatever that looks like. But there is this need for connection for you coming up with the Three of Cups. That's going to be part of the picture that you are moving into. And I feel like you're going to be much more comfortable around people going forward, because you're going to be around people who you actually are meant to be with, who you connect with, who you have some shared understanding with. And I feel like it's just going to feel comfortable and so much more obvious than things have done before. And that means you're going to be doubting a lot less. You're going to be doubting a lot less. That's going to hold you in really good stead, and it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for you. With the Three of Wands, I feel this is then going to start to attract opportunities and possibilities that are entirely in line with who you truly are and what you're here to do. So I see these two threes here coming together as these two triangles here slotting together for the Emperor. So you've got 3, 3. You've got triangles that have 3 sides. It's slotting together for you in the coming period, Gemini. It's going to make so much more sense to you, and that's going to place you in a position where you can accept opportunities that come up, but you feel grounded. You don't feel the need to keep darting from one place to the other or looking externally all the time. This is quite beautiful for you. I hope that makes sense for you, Gemini. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Exciting time of year for you, Cancer. The sun is in your sign. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Cancer. LV's back. Hi, LV. Okay, Cancer. Interesting, the cards that keep on appearing at this time. There's this calming influence that the solstice is bringing in for you, Cans. It's a calming influence. It's like you're drying your eyes and looking outside and seeing the world a bit differently with a new perspective that feels far, far more comfortable, that is far, far more calming, and that doesn't have this need to propel you into this need to prove yourself. Very, very important. You're not going to feel the need to prove yourself. You're not going to feel the need to plumb the depths within yourself in order to pull something out either. You're moving into a space where you can simply be. Ace of Swords comes up for you, and I absolutely feel that this is just about something new and calming opening up. You're seeing the world through new eyes at this time. You're feeling more embodied as well. You're feeling more embodied, and it's just making your kind of perception so much clearer, and you're finding things so much easier. What you're leaving behind is this need to be a Queen of Wands. And I feel very, very strongly that what you're losing here is the need to try to be someone who you're not, to try to feel the need to prove yourself to other people or be all things to all people, or just be seen as being incredibly dynamic and active and doing all of this, but none of it necessarily for you. So that's kind of where you're moving away from. And it's also, it's calming, so you're not feeling the need to constantly do stuff, to struggle against things, to assert yourself in that sense, because you have this clearer perspective and you're more comfortable with where you are now. And that's completely in line with what was coming up for the collective, incidentally. So you're in alignment there, Cancer, at the right time of year for you. It's also going to allow you to feel more comfortable in groups of people. The Three of Cups we're seeing a lot of today. And for you, Cancer, I do feel like you're in this just space where you can just enjoy for now. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy where you're at, enjoy some company, and just simply be. That is kind of what you're moving into here. And I feel like what you're gaining at the same time is wisdom, and it's a wisdom that is just allowing you to reorientate on yourself. It's a wisdom that is allowing you to connect into your heart space as well, but not in the sense of wounds or anything like it, just in the sense of feeling powerful. There's another sword coming down here with the Hierophant, but I feel this tremendous power that builds up within you because you've stopped rushing from place to place. You've stopped trying to do things, and because you stopped trying to do things, this inner wisdom actually is starting to come out, and you are a wise sign, Cancer. You're a very, very wise sign. You have a lot of earthly wisdom within you, and settling into the space where you're at and not trying to be anything other than yourself is going to help you to accept that and share it with the right people, who are the people who are going to be around you in this coming period. Lovely and calming for you, and possibly overdue for you. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Leo. Leo, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Leo. 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 Yeah. Honest, I know you're a fixed sign, Leo, and I know that you like to be the center of attention, but it's not going to kill you for you to allow someone else to take the lead sometimes, to show you something new. I feel like you've had all these fixed ideas and ways of doing things, and I feel that other people have tried to be like, yeah, but why don't you come and try this and come and do this and come and enjoy this and come and look at this? And you're like, nah, I want to be the boss here. I feel like you're relaxing that a bit now. You're allowing yourself to be shown something new, to do something new, Leo. It shows up for you with the 5 of Wands. And what I see here is this breaking out of this space. And if you want, you can tell yourself that you've done it yourself. But I feel like there is just this power that is leading to some breakthroughs here with the 5 of Wands, new ways of doing things, new experiences, allowing someone else to take the lead. I feel like you've been fearing that loss of control. That's part of the problem. You've been fearing that loss of control, possibly fearing how much disruptive that can be. And as a result of that, you've been fixed in this way of doing things, but that has to shift. So you're saying goodbye to this 9 of Swords, this kind of anxiety or mindset which has been holding you in place in a very limited way of doing things, this need for control. You're relaxing that. And you're getting ready to step into something new, doing new things without knowing where they're going to. Full showing up for you as your next step. So there are new beginnings coming in for you, Leo, with this summer solstice, provided you can relax and find your way into them. Allow yourself to be led into them, to be taken into them, because it really is as simple as saying yes at this time. This is what we're getting more than anything else here. It's saying yes. It brings change. It brings transition. Yes, that can be a difficult thing for fixed signs to deal with. 5 of Pentacles is your advice. So it's going to take you somewhere new, somewhere exciting. My doorbell just went, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm going to ignore it for now. And it's going to lead you to approach life in a slightly different way. This is very, very exciting for you, Leo. It's moving you to new places, but you need to be willing to take that chance and to follow people, follow these things to where they are leading you. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Virgo. I wish it was Chinese food, neither. It's not. It'll be my neighbor, but I can't answer the door when I'm doing a video. Like, this is really awkward timing. Let me try and regain myself. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Virgo. Hi, Neva. Virgo. Okay, Virgo. Just regained myself there. You can't really predict your doorbell going whilst you're doing a live video, unfortunately. You're finally catching your breath, Virgo. I feel like you've been kind of spinning and spinning and spinning and really struggling to get a foothold and a sense of where you are. And it's been tiring, draining, everything else that goes with it. And this is all now about getting, I feel, some rest and regrouping, getting a sense of where you're at, which is still in line with the collective. Temperance and the Four of Wands and Justice are the messages for the collective. So Virgo, you have the Four of Swords as what's coming in for you. And I feel that more than anything else, this is needed. It's rest, it's recuperation, but it's also coming to terms with how you feel and being able to frame that into a narrative that allows you to have the outlook that you need, and crucially allows you to have a forward facing outlook. So there is going to be this restabilizing process for you that may not be all that comfortable, but will be more comfortable than the spinning you've been going through before. It's going to open up new things for you. You're moving away from this space of the Six of Cups. So there is some karmic stuff that's being healed, but there's also just the past that is being healed and that you're walking away from, moving away from. You're allowing yourself to become a new and a different person at this time. Another four is showing up for you as your next step. It's the Four of Wands in line with the collective. And the sense that I get is just, it's going to be a newfound stability and a newfound optimism. And that's coming from just stopping spinning, stopping feeling like you have to go so fast and deal with all these different things at once. It's calming down for you so as you can get back on top of things. That is going to open things up for you. I don't feel like you've been able to get a clear perspective on where you go next for some time. You haven't been able to get a clear perspective because of all of these things pulling you in every direction or spinning you round and round. And just when you think something's dealt with, back it comes again, and something else and something else. That is calming. It's going to allow you to move into this space of the Chariot, where you're just able to regain a footing, a sense of yourself, and then you're going to be able to start to direct yourself for where you go next. You can't rush to that. There is some rest that you need at this time, but then things are really going to start to open up for you. It feels really hopeful and optimistic. And before that, you're going to get the rest that you need, and that's absolutely crucial for you, Virgo. The next sign is going to be Libra. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. You're very welcome to do timestamps for me, Neva. It means a huge amount if you do. Libra, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. And hi, Tara. Okay. Interesting for you, Libra. Right back at the start of this video, somebody in the live chat was saying they were bored of the same old shit. And that's coming up for you, Libra. And I feel like you've actually made a great deal of progress through what felt like the same old shit without realizing it. And you're going to be leveling up as a result of this. I feel big things coming your way, big things opening up for you, but it's going to require quite a big shift for you as well. So big changes for you. You're also ridding yourself of some of the less helpful methods of being, methods of coping, that kind of thing. So what's coming in for you is the Eon. And this is so powerful. This is so powerful. You're going to recognize what everything you've been going through was for. And it's been hard going for you, Libra. It absolutely has. And you've been like, why all of this again? What on earth? You're being reunited with yourself here. So this is you accepting all parts of yourself and being able to move forward kind of unified. And it's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. If you see the anchor here, it's an absolute blessing. This is really powerful. Now, in order to do that, you can't go dashing back to the past. Compulsive behaviors, repetitive behaviors, maladaptive coping mechanisms, you name them. But the devil is what is falling away from you. So you're also going to feel less restricted. And I'm a Libra rising and I felt restricted as fuck. So I totally resonate with that myself. But this is really huge, really powerful. I don't often draw the Eon from this deck, but you can just see the potential and possibility. Now, that also, it means you're going to need to do something brand new. You're going to need to do something almost brand new, and you're going to feel able to. Big changes for you, maybe in terms of work, maybe in terms of how you relate to people, maybe relocating, but big changes. So the collective might have been losing the Two of Wands, but guess what you have coming up for you, Libra? Bucking the trend here. Two of Wands showing up for you, and I get this really strong sense of feeling able to act. It's like suddenly, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do now, and I'm just going to kick on with it. Watch for those old ways of thinking, those things that hold you back. Watch for the ideas or the intrusive thoughts of, I can't do that, or I need help, I need someone else to come with me, this kind of thing. Five of Swords. All of those are restrictions that you're going to be pushing past. Remember, the devil falls away. So I feel like the conflict is going, but you can't allow yourself to feel overawed or overwhelmed. It's going to be an explorative time for you, but you are doing it from this place of accomplishment, this place of moving forward, Libra. Hugely exciting for you. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. I'm still at that sense of moving forward. Like my doorbell goes, and for some reason, I don't feel like I feel like I'm some teenage kid, and it's like a parent banging on my door or something, and I have to hide what I'm doing, and it's like I'm a 38-year-old woman. I'm a bit past that, so appropriate for Libra there, certainly. So yeah, but Scorpio, just what that kind of reminds me of. Scorpio. Okay. I feel like right back at the start, I talked about this need to lose this thing for blaming other people. I think it showed up for Aries, and what you're getting in Scorpio is not quite the same thing, but it's about you taking action for yourself. I feel like when you're not taking action, Scorpio, you're looking for reasons why you're not taking action, looking for people to blame, this kind of thing. And you might get a little defensive when questioned on it. You have the Chariot showing up. We're seeing the Chariot a bit today, which is no surprise. We're moving into Cancer season because this is the card of Cancer. And I feel like if you're going to hold back now, Scorpio, you're holding back on your account and not on anyone else's. So Four of Cups is what goes out the window for you. And I feel like you stop holding back, you engage more, but it's not engaging with loads of other people necessarily. It's just being ready to go and do some new things, going and doing some new stuff that you haven't allowed yourself to before, and not allowing anyone else to interfere, but not allowing your belief that other people are stopping you from interfering either. Nine of Wands shows up as your next step. You can see the moon showing up in all of these cards as well. Repeatedly. So there's a pattern there for you. Ruler of Cancer showing up for you. And I feel like you're starting to recognize now what is your emotional process versus what you might have projected onto other people. And knowing your own emotional process is allowing you to summon the strength to take action and to move off and start doing new things. I also feel this expansion in terms of your worldview and your perception of what's possible. Shows up with the Six of Swords, but in order to get that expansion and follow it through with the Chariot, the sense that I get is that you need to be able to hold other people at arm's length at times, but holding them at arm's length doesn't mean blaming them, because that's still giving away power. It simply means, okay, no, this is me and I'm going to go and do this now. Then you actually need to go and do it. You need to go and do it. And I feel the things you need to do are experiences that are going to expand your mindset, expand your beliefs about what's possible, and enable you to just feel like you are actually creating your own life. You are creating your own space at this time. So you're regaining some power, but you're also taking responsibility and avoiding blaming other people as well. Having strong boundaries is different to blaming other people, and that's kind of the space you're moving into, and you're doing so in order to create a space for personal growth, and especially growth in terms of your perception of yourself and of your world and your ability to create within it. I hope that makes sense for you, Scorpio. Hi, Tina. Thank you. The next sign is going to be Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this summer solstice. Okay. You're going to be making a few breakthroughs, Sagittarius. Really positive breakthroughs, and this is how you're going to get to them. You know, when you have a pain somewhere in your body and it's bothering you, but you're putting up with it and you're aware of it in a sense, but you don't take the time to figure out what's behind it, what's causing it, and it just sort of becomes part of the background picture, the background noise of life. I feel like there are certain things in your life that you've just accepted as being the way it is. Restrictions, patterns, like, oh yeah, that always happens. That's what I always get. I feel like you're taking some time out and doing a bit of a deeper examination on that, and understanding what is driving that, where you're contributing to that, what you can do about it, and it's going to lead to some revelations, and it's going to lead to an easing of restrictions upon you. Shows up with the 8 of Swords. So you are moving from this space, and here with the crouching, I feel like, and they took me to like my gut area, and it's like, you know, when you're sort of hunched over in pain or whatever at times, it's kind of like that's where you're coming from, but now you're figuring out what is actually behind that, holding you in that space. And then suddenly it starts to make sense. It makes sense, and because it makes sense, then you can do something about it. And that means making changes. It means making changes. It means making drastic changes if necessary to your life, to the way that you go about things. You're moving out of this space of the King of Pentacles, and what I see here is it's almost like in order to deal with what you've been carrying around with you or accepting, you've had to work twice as hard, fight twice as hard to keep everything going. And now you don't need to. You're moving to a space of inner knowing and inner understanding instead. Showing up for you with the Queen of Cups, Sagittarius. And for some of you, this is literal physical pains that you have, possibly around your reproductive system or that part of your body that you are now understanding. And for the rest of you, that's like the metaphor. The pain is the metaphor for just the restrictions that you've come to accept. But either way, it's taking the time to care for yourself enough to get to grips with things, get to the bottom of things, in order that you can actually then find a much easier way to exist within life. Much easier way to exist within life that's going to bring you together with other people. It's going to bring you more joy with the Three of Cups. You're not going to have to try so hard. You're going to just feel better, stronger, more able to deal. And you're going to start to remove anything that is in the way of that. You don't have to sacrifice your joy, Sagittarius. You don't have to accept the things that are upsetting you. You don't have to push yourself for the sake of it. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Capricorn. Capricorn. Yeah. You've not been seeing that clearly, Capricorn. And when you're not seeing that clearly, obviously things are very, very difficult. And the way they've shown me you not seeing clearly, it's not like if things are foggy or similar. The sense that they're giving me is, you know, if you get sand in your eyes, I know this feels a bit weird. You know, if you get sand in your eyes and if you try to like rub your eyes because there's sand in them, it just makes it worse. It makes it more sore, more inflamed. That's kind of where you're at, Capricorn. And maybe you've wound up in that space because you haven't taken time for yourself or to adjust or to process or to clear away certain thought forms which have been driving you without you realizing it. But that's kind of where you're coming in at this time. Seven of Swords. This is what you're moving towards. So I don't feel like things are going to be clear for you just yet. You have to accept a bit of unpredictability at this time. Now, Capricorn doesn't always like unpredictability. So that's a challenge for you at this time for sure. It's a challenge for you at this time, but you're allowed to admit to it being a challenge as well. You're allowed to admit to it being a challenge and accept that things are just going to not be quite clear for you just yet, Capricorn. You don't need to be a Queen of Cups, so you don't need to be able to magically find all the answers or just have this ability to deal with really difficult emotions or anything else. It's a much, much slower process for you getting your answers. Part of that is going to be self-examination. Part of that is going to be withdrawing. Part of that is going to be looking within yourself. And part of that is going to be not giving so much of yourself away, not saying yes to everybody all the time, not saying no to everybody all the time either, but you're finding a degree of balance through this. So like the collective, you have temperance showing up as your next step. And this really is like, it's meditation, but it's also just being able to move to different parts of your body and your process and bring them together over time. So you're not prioritizing thought, but nor are you prioritizing feeling. You have to be bringing those together and getting a sense of what those mean for you, Capricorn. Your advice with that is the Hermit. So you're going to have this period of self-reflection to come to self-understanding. And part of this is being able to understand the darker parts of you as well. You see, I feel like things are obscured because maybe you've been ignoring your own darkness, your own shadow areas like this. And that's indicated for you now. It's like, it's time that you do this work now. It's time that you do this work, because until you do that, there's going to be this confusion. You're going to do things or say things or notice things that you don't quite understand. You're not going to quite know who you are. So you have to come into yourself and start to do this work in the coming period, Capricorn. It's not fast, it's not groundbreaking, but it is completely necessary. And you might want to bring in somebody to do shadow work with you, or you might want to see a therapist or a hypnotherapist or somebody similar to help you do that kind of work, because it's difficult, and you may need help to find your way through, to see your way through. But more than anything, it's working with those hidden parts of yourself. I hope that makes sense for you, Capricorn. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. Aquarius. 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 Okay, Aquarius. You don't always take criticism that well, Aquarius. And sometimes criticisms of you are justified and sometimes they're not. But I feel like you tend to push it away regardless. And I feel like you've been feeling unfairly criticized in recent times. And you've only been looking at the external whilst being, no, actually, I'm fine. There's no problem here. There's no problem here. I feel like there is this need to adjust your process a bit at this time to gain a more real sense of stability, Aquarius. And I feel that that is something that you haven't quite had. You might have been telling everyone that you're really stable and confident and happy where you are, but I don't feel like you necessarily have been, but you haven't wanted anyone else to tell you that. Four of Cups is what's coming in for you. And I feel like I mentioned, obviously, the Four of Cups often is to do with pushing other people away, not letting them in. I actually feel that this is moving into a space where if you don't want to take other people's criticism or advice on board, then you have to do the work for yourself. But what you can't do is just act like there's nothing wrong. You're losing the Four of Pentacles, so you're moving away from this idea that I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine. Nothing is wrong. Nothing can bother me at this time. So this is your next step, Aquarius. Your next step comes in with the Two of Pentacles. And what we're getting with the Two of Pentacles is allowing yourself to be helped or allowing yourself to help yourself. But what it's not is acting like you're absolutely fine and nothing needs to adjust or change in terms of your approach to the world, because actually all that's happening at the moment is that you're digging yourself in deeper and causing more restrictions for yourself over time. The more you repeat the same mantra, even when it's not helping you, the more it's locking you in, the more that's creating a more limited external world for you as well, Aquarius. So either you allow yourself to be helped or you do the work to help yourself. But what you can't do is just carry on as you have been. Your final card is Divine Feminine, which is usually the Empress. This is where you can move towards, but it requires you to take full responsibility. The Empress takes full responsibility, and because she takes full responsibility for her own space, she's then able to bloom within it. So this is about what you do for yourself, Aquarius. No one else is to blame here. Other people's criticism may or may not be justified, but you know the truth within yourself and you know there is work to do. And either with help or by yourself, you're going to need to do that so as you can expand, so as you can bloom, so as you can be in a space to truly create something more and actually feel more settled than you do, because you haven't been feeling that settled. This is going to allow you to. I hope that makes sense for you, Aquarius. The next sign is going to be Pisces. Thank you, my foolish heart. Hi, Sujata. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising for this summer solstice. You're becoming more rooted and more grounded, Pisces, but it's in quite a surprising way, because it's happening through action. So I feel one of the things that has been stopping you from feeling truly grounded has been your reticence to really go and do stuff. Show yourself, shake your stuff, Be active. That's what you've been avoiding. And actually, that's been leaving you ungrounded and uncertain. But now you're getting more decisive, getting more active. And this is helping you. It's helping you. I feel that for some of you, you're doing this for yourself. For others of you, there's someone coming in who is going to help you with this. And this can be a potential love interest, Pisces. Or it may be that you're just doing this for yourself, but you have the Knight of Wands showing up. And don't wait for someone to come in and do this with you, but do it for yourself, because that may well be what attracts this person to you as well. But this could be a fire sign that you're attracting. So this could be Aries, could be Leo, could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But there is, you see, when you don't act, it becomes all about the emotions. If you're only acting, it's all about the action. There's a balance coming in here through being able to act that is going to help you a great deal. And it means that you're going to feel supported and backed up, whether by yourself or whether by someone else. But for quite a few of you, there is someone else coming in. The Ace of Cups is there, and the Ace of Cups is often a new relationship. Now, I'm not saying that can be a really lengthy relationship necessarily. The sense that I get is of somebody who is going to help to encourage you, to give you a push forward, a jolt forward that enables you to move much more assuredly and feel more stable as a result. However, you shouldn't necessarily expect that to be lasting. It may be, it may not. You're not going to know yet. With the Seven of Cups showing up, the excitement needs to be what gets you going. The excitement gets you going, but then you keep going by yourself. And what's most important here is that you are still taking responsibility for yourself. What you're not doing is developing a dependence on someone else doing this for you. But this jolts you into action after you've jolted yourself a bit into action. It's moving you forward. And then you're kind of running free by yourself, and you can continue. You can continue, and it enables you to develop the things that you already want to do. It's not about the Fool. So the Fool is normally a new beginning. It's normally taking huge chances. So I don't feel like you're doing brand new stuff, but I do feel like you're just getting more active. You're putting your ideas, the things that you want to do, the things that you desire, into action at this time, Pisces. Remember, you're investing in yourself. Invest more in yourself than you do in anyone else who's coming in to help. Welcome their help. Welcome their support. Feel the excitement and the exuberance that comes from being in action. This very, very interesting Ace of Cups. And allow that to be what carries you forward, but then you need to maintain it, Pisces. I hope that makes sense for you. That is all 12 signs. Please remember to like and share the video, and please remember to subscribe and enable notifications, everybody. If you'd like to book a personal reading, my details are in the box below. If you'd like to leave me a tip because my work helps you, my details are also in the box below. I have time to pull cards for a couple of people now. If anybody has a question for me, please pop it in the live chat and I will see which of you I am drawn to. And we can obviously pick up on anything that's come up today. That can also be picked up in far more detail in a personal reading or any other area of life. Fallen very quiet. Nobody's got any questions in the live chat today. Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful solstice. Work on welcoming in the new. Remember that it's all about balance here. It really is. So yes, you're doing some new stuff. You're building on the base. You're building on the lessons that you've had, but you're doing yourselves justice. It's nothing brand new or anything like it. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you all again really, really soon. Have a great night.